This is the ChefDad2000 show. This is where I'll do a roundtable discussion with random Skidmore students and a bit of cooking for all you kids that wonder what goes on behind the scenes at Skidmore's Emily's Garden. And we might even take a few visits to other shows, check out the other stations in the D Hall, check out the fashion and music tips of today's teens and college students. Hi, welcome to the second episode of the ChefDad2000 show. Today we're in the D Hall behind Emily's Garden again, as you can see. By our set, it's the rock and roll show. Everybody rock and roll? All right, everybody rock and rolls, you can tell by the rock and roll. Salute. I got my friend Mike. This is Danielle. This is Bryan, and this is Nate. You might recognize some of these guys. They might be your friends, family, or fellow co-workers. I brought my friend MJ in from the dish room. I got a live studio audience.
What a good crowd. All four of them, yeah.
All because we rock.
We do.
Like I said, it's the rock show 3 times already. I kind of had a format, but we'll go really loosey-goosey. And all I really want to know from everybody, we'll start over here on the end, is what are all the young kids listening to these days? Because I'm getting old now to touch. I'm listening to a lot of old 80s. Early 90s heavy metal, 70s classic rock, and I want to know what you guys are listening to because I need to update my my iTunes.
Well, lots of different kids our age listen to all kinds of different things. I personally listen to a lot of old stuff still, Beatles, Talking Heads, but there's a lot of great music coming out right now. I mean, my favorite contemporary band is Radiohead.
I like Radiohead. I like that song Creep. I can relate.
Oh.
What about you, Bryan?
I'm kind of a purist. I listen to a lot of the guitar gods, you know, Jimi Hendrix and Led Zeppelin and all those guys. But I mean, in terms of music of our generation, I'm a fan of the White Stripes. I mean, they kind of got that grungy sort of old sound. That
I heard somebody sounded kind of like the White Stripes called Cold War Kids.
Sure, I've heard of them.
Yeah. They had that stripped down kind of thing. Well, you're one of my fellow California guys. What about all the LA guitar players?
Oh, of course. I listen to the Doors all the time. I mean, you know, one of the major staples of a rock and roll diet. Definitely.
The Doors?
The Doors.
Yeah,
the Doors.
Yeah. When I was really young, my older cousins were listening to the Doors and smoking hash in the room, and they had like red lights and all this stuff on, and they were playing that song, Father, yes, son. And I don't know if it was because I was in the room and I got a contact high or what. It scared the crap out of me, man. That creepy organ and all that stuff. I was bugging. Yeah, it is a great song. What's that?
The End.
The End, yeah.
The End.
What about you, Danielle? What are you listening to?
To a lot of punk. I like The Exploited. I saw them in London.
The Exploited?
Awesome.
That is old
It was
school
awesome.
punk, man.
Yeah.
In London? What are you doing in London?
School.
Oh, that's cool.
We
I'm
were,
going to punk shows. You went to London also?
London
Yeah.
freshman program. It was
Nice.
a great time.
Maybe I'll go to school. Get sent to London.
Yeah.
What about new punk? I want the new stuff.
My friend's got a new punk band.
What's it called?
Mutual Assured Destruction.
Mutual.
Assured Destruction.
Nice. Is that your friend who has the Shred show on
No.
WSBN?
different
What's that?
Brutal Bonanza.
What time?
2 a.m. on Tuesdays.
So when you're up at 2 a.m. doing your studying and you want to hear some brutal, bone-crushing metal,
Yeah. It's brutal.
what's that? 90? What's the radio? 99.999? What's the radio station?
Something like that.
99.5.
Something.
95.
You'll find it. It's the only thing that comes in up here in the woods. Yeah. How about you?
I'm listening to a lot of 70s kind of progressive rock. Metal,
Like Yes?
Zeppelin, Floyd.
you
Also
go.
newer stuff. I really like Porcupine Tree.
Porcupine Tree.
Porcupine Tree, they're from England. And Dredge and ISIS. Those are 2 good bands. I've been
ISIS.
getting
Those
into
do
lately.
sound like prog rock bands.
Yeah, they're
I like a lot of Yes, as far as those guys are concerned. Yeah, I know. I asked you about all the new stuff. I got Exploited, Doors,
Classic rock, yeah.
Zeppelin.
Great.
When I was mentioning LA guitar players, I'm thinking like Yngwie, Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, I didn't know Yngwie was from LA.
Yeah. Well, he's from Sweden, but he might as well be from
Close
LA.
enough.
So what do you? I
Blondes.
mean, when you're talking to your friends, what are you telling them to listen to? What do you say? Oh, you got to check these guys out.
There's all kinds of people. There's a great underground scene going on in the indie music world right now.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of up and coming interesting bands all the time. I mean,
That's why I'm talking to you guys. Because underground, they don't tell old guys like me.
I mean,
Don't hip the creepy old guy will show up to the show.
Yola Tango of Montreal. I mean,
They've been around for a while though,
Yola
right? They've
Tango
always
has-
been like bubbling. They've never really.
since like the 80s.
Yeah.
I saw them in London. Their live show is a little disappointing, but their records are great.
I've seen a lot of bands like that. Red Hot Chili Peppers used to be like that.
Really?
Back in my road crew days.
I heard that they
Lead
used to be
singer's tone deaf.
incredible.
No, the
Well,
lead singer's tone deaf. At least in concert.
but-
Oh, they were bad. I worked.
horrible.
I worked some shows where they were, I think it was the second album, Freaky Styling, second or third album, and 300 people would show up to a show.
Yeah.
And I think they were all using a lot then.
Yeah.
And I saw moments of greatness and just train wrecks the rest of the night. But I got paid good, so I didn't care.
Sure, that works.
Yeah.
That works.
Other good artists that I've been listening to, Mason Jennings. Have you guys heard of
No.
him? He's a singer-songwriter out of Minneapolis, and he's just great. And,
Mason Jennings.
Yeah.
Cool.
And My Morning Jacket I've been listening to.
I've heard of them. I think I recognize a lot of the names.
Yeah, they're great as
Yeah.
well. Saw them in London also. And they are great.
Another good reason to go to London, see live shows.
Yeah.
Are those like,
Scene is killer.
when you're going to shows in London, are those like pubs where they have bands, or are they concert hall,
Well, I
theater
saw
kind
some
of deals?
smaller bands at pubs, but those two shows, Yola Tango and My Morning Jacket, were big theater shows.
I always think of like going to the pub and they have like the one old Irish guy singing the
Singing
Yeah.
Wonderwall.
Yeah,
I heard
exactly.
Wonderwall
With the drum
at least
machine.
30 times in the subway and
I got some good
every pub.
Oasis mashups.
Yeah, I got a bit sick of that, but
Okay, it's my turn to hip you guys to this act that I heard about called Van Stone. I know all these guys have heard about Van Stone, right?
Studio audience participation.
Danielle, I gave Danielle a hit. I hipped her to him a couple days ago. So it's basically these guys that used to do a show called Buzzkill, and they do an act that's like crazy metal. I don't even know how to describe it, except it's fun, it's loud, it's obnoxious, it's everything you want rock and roll to be.
Man.
It's rock and roll taken to like the nth degree, all the way to 11, So, but you can check them out on MySpace, YouTube. You guys know where to get information when you need it, right?
Sure.
Just Google. Nobody Googles it anymore,
it.
right? But he's sending me free stuff, so I had to do this. Check him out at getvanstone.com.
Shameless plug.
Shameless. He's supplying me with prizes because there will be a quiz. The first, let's say 10, 15 people that can come up to me in the D Hall, if you know where to find me, you're even ahead of the other people, and give me some useless Van Stone trivia, I'll give you a prize, all right? So we'll say 15 people. They're also playing a show at Giant Stadiums called Bamboozle. It's a big, like, you've heard of it? I never heard of it till this year. It's kind of like a Lollapalooza thing.
yeah.
And they have tons and tons of bands. Right? They range from everything. I think Rancid played a couple years ago.
Right on.
This year, I think the two headliners, one day is My Chemical Romance, and the other day is Linkin Park. So there are a lot of really kind of pop bands. And then I think the earlier shows in the second stages probably have all the good bands we would like more,
Right.
But Van Stone, I think, is playing 8 o'clock both days. Check it out, May 5th and 6th. Yeah. It's funny. It's just fun. It's crazy. Check out the song Palmdale, USA. You want to sing a chorus for us?
Performers.
But you heard it, right, when you
I
checked
heard
out
it.
their
It's
page?
awesome.
It's fun,
Yeah,
huh?
it's fun.
What did you think?
I liked it. It was awesome.
All right, so
Rock
she
and
likes
roll.
it. You're going to like it. Who here has heard that Ozfest is free this year?
Oh, I heard.
I've heard rumors.
Yeah, you heard a minute
I
ago
know
when he
official-
peeked at my cards.
Nothing official.
They had a press conference. Ozfest is going to be free this year.
No way.
Yeah. I don't know exactly how you're going to get concert tickets. They haven't announced it yet. It's corporate sponsorship. They're not going to hit as many like small secondary markets, but they're going to hit probably the bigger cities. Around here we might have to go to Buffalo or Boston or maybe Montreal. We'll see.
Any of you guys plan on going to Bonnaroo Festival in Tennessee? The lineup looks amazing this year.
There's
The Police are headlining.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. I heard the
Wilco,
Police
the
are
Flaming
headlining.
Lips.
I'd like to see the Flaming Lips.
Yeah, I hear they're great in concert.
Don't they always wear like crazy costumes?
Yep, and Wayne Coyne gets out in a bubble and rolls over the crowd.
Oh, one of those big plastic bubble
Yeah,
things.
like Bubble Boy.
Hey, get one of those, man.
Those are good shows. Do you go to a lot of shows?
I used to go to a lot of shows. I haven't been to a huge show in many, many years. Last big show I went to was, I'd say it was a Tool show. Tool, they're opening up for the Police, I think, second headliner.
Nice.
And before that,
Tool opens for the Police.
Match made in heaven, baby.
Yeah, that's
Right.
kind of odd.
and then before that, I think Warped Tour was the last show I went to. I saw Rancid, Bad Religion, and like No Effects, like headline the Warped Tour. Oh.
Did Rancid and Bad Religion jam together at all?
No, they didn't.
They didn't? Because I ripped the song. It's Rancid and Bad Religion called Punk Rock Song.
Okay.
You can rip that on LimeWire too. But,
No
I mean,
Effects was like the best. I love that. They're so good.
well, you play guitar, right? You're a guitarist. You're a multi-instrumentalist. A one-man band. We used to call guys like that. And so, what do you do for inspiration? You just listen to.
Actually, I listen to a lot of like mellow acoustic stuff and some like jazz and grassroots sort of fusion funk.
Fusion funk?
Yeah, like one of the bands I've been getting into lately is called Percy Hill.
I've heard of them.
I think they're from either Vermont or
Yeah.
New Hampshire, but they actually played here a number of years ago.
Yeah,
where I got
that's
into
probably
it.
where I heard of them.
Yeah, they're really good.
I think I gave them pizza. And then one guy, Queller.
Ben Queller?
Yeah.
Keller
They were-
Williams?
They weren't Keller with the guy who had put stuff on a loop and he plays guitar and
Yeah.
they weren't.
Yeah.
They had no catering, no nothing for these guys. So I stacked them up like 4 pizzas, put them in the
Nice.
Right on.
when they were traveling in an RV and they were just getting ready to pull out. So I shipped them out a bunch of pizzas.
Good for you.
So what's the last show you went to?
Last shot, The Exploited in London.
That was when you were a freshman.
No, I am a freshman. I'm
Oh,
still a freshman.
freshman.
Yeah, it was
She
not
still
long
suffers
ago.
from the condition.
So what? That was just in the fall,
Yeah, it was in the fall.
last fall. Who else played with them? Anybody good? Some
Certified?
local band, certified.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
You
actually
go to anything? Were you home at Christmas?
I was home at Christmas.
see any
and
shows?
I went to the House of Blues
Nice.
on Sunset Strip.
Nice.
All right.
I missed the strip, baby.
And I actually checked out a Pink Floyd cover band. That was pretty sick. Also, I saw a show at the Whiskey a Go Go.
Whiskey
which
is
is-
still nice.
The whiskey
After
is
all
still-
these years.
the whiskey's still kicking, and it's one of those things that you should try to do if you have any sort of knowledge of the
LA,
legendary places
yeah.
in the legendary places.
It's like
of
going to
rock
see
and
the
roll.
La Brea Tar Pits when you're in LA. Go see the whiskey.
Yeah.
I came out of a Ramones show once and we're driving home. Like the exit to the entrance to 101 is kind of just down the road from the whiskey.
Right.
And I look and I see all these mohawks and leather jackets and studs and spikes, and we're with all my heavy metal friends, and we got everything like that, but we don't have the mohawks, And I look up at the marquee, it was the Plasmatics and the Cramps.
All right.
And so we went in that show, and it was like $5. I couldn't believe it. It
Nice.
was one of the best shows, one of the best nights of my life. It was the Ramones, the Dickies, somebody else, and then we went and saw the Plasmatics and the Cramps after that. It was like, man,
Classic.
It was a great night. 5 great bands in one night. What's the last show you went to, man? London?
Well, let's see. It depends on what you call a show. I go to a lot of smaller shows.
Yeah.
I saw John Brown's Body over Christmas break, and so I went to a lot of other local shows.
They let you in free because you're in a band?
Yeah, actually, sometimes. But not always. And
Yeah.
then the last big show I saw was Yola Tango in London. But
Excellent. So you prefer going to clubs?
yeah. Well, I mean,
I think most people do.
It's a different thing.
Like a medium size, not a really
But-
teeny tiny club.
But it's always exciting to see a band that you've been really into for a while at a big venue. There's something really breathtaking about when they walk out on stage.
I find that when I go to festivals that I pay more attention to the people and like the festival atmosphere, and I don't really pay attention to the band. So I'll kind of like miss bands that I go to see a lot.
Yeah, that was my experience at Bonnaroo.
What about Summerfest? Anybody going to anything this summer?
This summer?
Yeah. There's got to be something going on. My kid really wants to see Gwen Stefani at Jones Beach.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's Harrishuku boy. That's what I call him.
I want to see Killswitch Engage or something.
You just missed Killswitch
I
Engage
know
in
they
Glens
came up-
Falls
they came
last
up
week.
here. I don't have time to go out with all the school, but
Straight A
definitely want to
student.
see it. It'll be a good show.
So what keeps you from going to shows? Pricing?
Yeah, pricing,
Yeah?
some time, and
Definitely
the
pricing.
lack of good bands that are in there.
Well, also it has to do with the fact that I'm into a lot of old guys. Clapton's getting pretty old.
Yeah.
Clapton's getting
And
pretty
those
old.
guys get paid big money when they do come around.
And I wanted to go to the Clapton show at the Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, yeah.
And his tickets were $75.
For the bleeds, right?
For the nosebleeds, you know? Technically, well, the last show I went to before I was in Los Angeles was I went on a 12-hour rock odyssey to go see the Rolling Stones in concert outside of Boston, wherever the Patriots play. I don't really pay attention. But,
Gillette Stadium.
Right. And so we buy these tickets for $50, and we're in the second to last row, and there's a good solid 20 to maybe 30 rows ahead of us, just empty, just nobody there. And,
Could you
and
jump
so
up?
we moved down 30, and then we walked down the stairs, and we ended up actually on the first platform, just standing behind everybody like Rolling Stones.
Wow.
It was bitching. So I would very much.
What's one of the first shows I ever saw? One of the really first big shows. You better see Keith Richards, man.
There you
before
go.
He dies.
Before he dies.
Guess what
That's
year
what
that
it
was, man?
74.
1975. He's still kicking.
Oh.
You know, he's probably had a few blood transfusions. I think it was after he had his first blood transfusion.
He's had a
so
body
everybody's like,
transfusion.
"Oh man, he's gonna die. We better go see the Stones before he dies." You know, and I think Peter Tosh opened that show. He'd just come out of jail, so I think that's when I really got into reggae too. After I saw Peter Tosh live,
Oh yeah.
I really got into reggae. That'll be a whole nother show, my reggae show. Definitely.
You should check out John Brown's Body if you haven't heard them.
I've seen them. I wouldn't say they played here one time.
Yeah.
One of the best shows we ever had here, Toots and the Maytals in the spa.
Oh wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
That was crazy. Biggest cloud I ever saw in this school. Determined that we all rock.
Sure.
We go to shows. We like shows. If it weren't for the pricing, we'd go to more shows,
Yes.
right?
Definitely.
So we're looking forward to some free shows, some cheap shows. How much is your show come? Nate's in a band called
IY.
IY. Show him your disc.
We're coming to Skidmore.
The title of the disc is 2 letters, and it's on what records?
iTown Records.
iTon?
It actually was started by the lead singer of John Brown's Body.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But I went up to him today because they were telling me about Nate. I think we talked one time before, but I said, I know you got a band, and the name of it's like 2 letters, something. And he shows me the disc. The name of the disc is 2 letters. So what's it like?
What's the music like?
Yeah, what's the music like?
For some reason, it's
Without
always
trying to
hard
peg
answer
yourself,
that.
you know. I know everybody doesn't want to be labeled.
I mean, music is probably most influenced by the Beatles and the Talking Heads. I mean,
cool.
Right on.
Could do worse.
It's
You know.
it's danceable rock.
Nice. And you're doing a show soon? Or
Uh,
later after break?
We're coming to Skidmore March 30th. at
What
Falls
about
House.
any other shows?
We're playing the Bitter End in New York City on March 24th.
Nice venue.
Great
Everybody's
venue.
ever been there. It's great. Venue.
Yeah, I love that room.
You get paid?
It's a door deal.
Nice. So you'll
Depends
get
on how many
paid.
people, yeah.
You'll get paid.
We bring
Free
in.
drinks and food.
Yeah. No food. They don't have a kitchen there, I don't believe. But yeah, and we're playing. April 28th at Cornell University, opening for probably state radio.
They're pretty big, right?
Yeah.
They're like a national touring indie kind of rock band.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nice. So you got a bright future. Where's your next gig? I put him on the spot. I'm sorry,
I'm
man.
currently not in.
That's where you say I'm in between
I'm in between
projects.
projects. Actually, no, I've been in Pulse for 4 years. I am looking for a singer to start off, maybe like an acoustic kind of thing, cover band / originals for like, so maybe some Doors. My guilty pleasure is Dave Matthews. I'm sorry.
That's all right. That was the last show you did Guilty
A perfect
Pleasures.
circle. I like a perfect circle, and I have a lot of acoustic arrangements for perfect circle stuff. So that's
Excellent. So how do they get a hold of you? Where do they find you? Besides in the library every
you can
night.
email me, m_HAFTEL@skidmore.edu.
Or if you can't find him, just come and talk to me and I'll
Yeah.
pass the message to him.
Something like that.
I'll slip it in his salad.
But my salad. Well, I'm graduating this year. I'm a senior, so this is the last chance for me.
Last chance to
to
jam
make my
with Mark.
mark in the music.
Blah, blah, blah. This time of the night, I'm very caffeinated. If anybody comes through the garden, they'll see me in the back. I got that big giant cup of soda. I'm not good for 2 or 3 of those a day, so.
Talk some miles.
Right about now, I'm juked. When you go to shows, big shows, talking like arena shows, are you buying food there? Are you eating? What do you eat when you go to shows?
You have to get arena food, man. You just have to. It's not the same without it.
I disagree.
Whatever.
I go to Taco Bell before the show.
Yes,
Oh.
me too. I love Taco Bell.
I bring like $5
So
to Taco
good.
Bell and I'm good for like 10 tacos.
Yeah.
And they have vegetarian options at Taco Bell.
Yeah, or you
Oh,
get
yeah.
al fresco, which is like no cheese and extra tomatoes.
Yeah.
There you
We
go.
have a guy here named Timmy Bruno, Timmy the Killer Bruno.
Timmy.
Timmy. And we give him a hard time. I told him we started a cookbook for him called the Stadium Diet Cookbook because all he eats is pizzas, burgers, anything that would be served in a ballpark or a stadium. He's all
There you
about
go.
that kind of
There you
stuff.
go.
But seriously, my next question was, do you load up before or after Taco Bell when you go to shows? Am I kidding?
No,
It does specifically say.
'Cause I've been eating at Taco Bell for years too. We used to call it the Kank in California. I don't even know where that came from.
I don't
Oh, you know what it was?
trust
I now for some reason I remember they used to have this big plastic kind of bell out in front in the old days, and if you hit it real hard, it wouldn't ring. It would just kind of like Kank. And my standard question, if anybody's seen the last show, we did ask this question before. It's name a band or a song. No jingles this time. We had much controversy about whether jingles counted or not, and the judges here look like they're not taking any of that today. So it's a food in the title. It's about food. You know, like Strawberry Alarm Clock, for instance. You know, Meatloaf doesn't count. That's way too easy.
That's not,
You know.
not kosher.
Let's start with you. Well, let's let the lady go first. You.
Ladies first.
Well, I don't know if this counts as a food, but pints of Guinness makes me strong. By against me.
Guinness in the hospital, right? In Ireland, they give it to you for lunch.
It's like it's like
Guinness
drinking
is
Liquid
a loaf
lunch.
of bread.
Yeah.
With a spoon
It's
easily.
It's
liquid
pretty
lunch.
thick.
Yeah.
Who is that? Is that a band?
Against me. It's a song.
Against Me is the name of the band.
Yeah.
Pints of Guinness make me strong. Me too. Make me very drunk. Keyword: there was an S on the end of pints too. It wasn't a pint.
Yeah.
There you go.
Of course.
What about you, Senor?
I'm rather partial to the Lemon Song. A little Led Zeppelin for you.
Man, I didn't think, I'm coming up with one of these every day too. People are coming to me now in the D hall and coming up with these answers to this question.
It's way fun to think about.
Yeah. There's tons. I think there's a few Led Zeppelin songs about food. What about you, dude?
How about,
You need more time?
How about Savoy Truffle by the Beatles?
Savoy truffle. Classic.
Truffles are tasty.
Good choice.
Cappuccinos and vanilla truffles.
We go with a song called Hot Dog in a Hallway.
Oh man, innuendo portion
There
of
you
our
go.
program. Who's that?
It's by No Effects.
No Effects?
No Effects.
I've
The
never heard
funniest
of
punk
that
band-
song.
Funniest punk band in existence.
Shit. And I come up with one all the time, but somebody gave me Sailing the Seas of Cheese, Primus.
Sure. Primus, yeah.
And they have that cool video where they're like sailing the little thing through all the cheese whiz. So I'd like to thank everybody again. I'd like to thank my crew, my live audience.
Thank you.
We're back to the community.
Again, your album one more time before we leave. A
IY,
CD.
two letters.
That's how old I am. I call it an album.
www.iymusic.net if you want to check us out.
IY
Shameless plug
dot
there.
music.
iymusic.net.
Okay, everybody get that. I'll get one of these for that next time. Because I'm plugging Van Stone because he's sending me free stuff.
Yay, free
I'm all
stuff.
about the swag. If you want to
Swag,
send me
baby.
swag. Again, I'd like to thank Mike, Danielle, my friend Nate, Bryan, my homeboy from California. And we'd all like to say, rock on.
All right. Hi, we're in the kitchen again. I'm Joey Cavalier, one of the chefs here at Skidmore College. We're in Emily's garden doing the cooking portion of the ChefDad2000 rock show. Hook 'em horns. Let's see your horns. She's the deadhead, so she's having trouble doing it.
I got the pentagram.
She always
What's
goes like this.
Hey, yeah.
She goes like this instead of like
It's
this.
about this dual horn action into the pentagram.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa, my goodness.
I've known this one. Too much
there you
metal
go.
for
Oh,
one
there's a
hand.
big one. That one's much easier to do.
I just
Or
go
this
like that. I still flip people off like that, so. I'm here with Peterson Cross, who works with me. You may have heard him singing the Lemon song earlier. This is my girl, Tammy. I keep wanting to call her Pammy. I got a brain fart for that one. And this is George. I brought George in from the deli because since it's the rock show, he wants to tell you a little bit about his show.
That's right. It's called the Full Metal Racket Show, 10 years strong. Since
10 years.
a lot of you kids were just still in your diapers. But yeah, every Friday night, midnight till 3 a.m. Best in metal, punk rock, and hardcore. Local, out of town, all kinds of stuff. You got demos, send it down there.
Yeah.
Me, George
Van Stone.
Yes, Van Stone. Listen to Van Stone. I'm DJ George Burns. My partner's James Bond. We're on many missions.
Your name's not really George Burns,
No,
is it?
no, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just stay right there. Get a zoom in on that guy. Give him your horns. He's a big Metallica head. All right, today we're doing the. He's got more plug.
And check out Buzzard, local skatecore.
Oh,
hardest
yeah.
rocking, hardest working band going.
His band Buzzard, I forgot.
That's right.
They got they got the most metal instrument of all,
That's right.
the washboard.
The washboard.
Really?
They had the washboard guy.
Yes, we have my boy Creature on the washboard.
His name's Creature?
His name's Creature.
Excellent.
But
All
yeah,
right.
it's Full Metal Racket Friday nights at midnight till 3 a.m.
There you go. So stay
All
up
right.
till late. Get
Put
drunk
away the
and
small
listen to
furry
metal.
animals and the grandmas.
Put away your grandma.
Today we're making the roasted veggie puffs. They're called mini puffs, but we don't make them so mini, so we just call them veggie puffs. We start with the puff pastry, which you can get in your freezer section of any store. Get it so it's a little defrosted, kind of malleable. I'll cut it a piece this big into squares, or you can cut them into any shapes you want. Some people make them into triangles. Some people cut them with a fancy cutter into rounds, but we use squares. Then we'll score them like this, which means not cutting it all the way through. So you end up with a little shape like this. You'll see when I cook them that this part will separate and make a nice line through there. So we'll lay those out on a pan, lightly oiled with some oil. It's up to you. You can use spray. I like to use the olive oil because it tastes good. This stuff is very buttery and tasty. People get this and use it for all kind of different stuff. So this will be pretty much our vessel. It ends up being like a bowl that we put all our roasted vegetables into. Now we're going to go on to the veggie filling part of this. These are vegetables we'll roast. You can use whatever kind of veggies you like. Mushrooms. No mushrooms for the pasta guy. He hates mushrooms. Zucchini, squash, carrots. Some people like a lot of peppers and onions, but I put peppers and onions in a lot of other stuff this week. You have fresh herbs, which I don't mix a lot of fresh herbs. I'll just use 2 or 3. Some fresh olive oil. One of the old stale olive oil has been sitting around. I got a spicy spice blend. I won't show you the label because I like to keep that a secret. Salt, pepper, and some veggie stock. So we'll always rinse these veggies every time. Keep them nice and clean as they grow in the dirt. These ones, since I'm putting them in the puff pastries, I'll cut a nice, pretty big chunk. I won't cut them too small. Pretending this is the oven. I put the puff pastries in there. I'm gonna pull them all out tomorrow. Okay, still going?
Yep.
All right, so we get a nice good size of this. You see us wearing gloves a lot. That's usually when we're cooking something. When we're not cooking it, we're just gonna go straight from our hands to the consumer. So if you're gonna cook something, you don't have to wear the gloves unless you're like doing garlic and you don't want it on your hands. A lot of times you'll see like the veggie cuts will be different. You'll see some things will angle, some things are squares, some things are strips. That's usually just so everything doesn't lay flat. You'll see that a lot when you get your Chinese takeout up in your dorm room. All the veggies are cut like a different shape so they cook evenly. This dish I like to put a lot of mushrooms. Even though some people don't like them, I don't care. They cook. These ones I'd like to leave a nice big chunk so that they stay soft, because everything else is a big chunk, so you want it to be a nice size. Mushrooms will give up their own liquid, so you'll get a nice juice out of the mushroom. Nice vegetable blend like so. I'll hit that with the olive oil. Usually I'll put the olive oil on first. That way whatever veggies, herbs or seasonings I put on, they stick on. If I wanted to spread it real evenly, I'll mix all the seasonings ahead of time in the little bowl and then sprinkle them out. But my spicy spice, coming to a market soon near you, is already blended up. Just regular black pepper. Salt I'll usually pour into my hand first, or use a small shaker so I don't put too much. This is fresh dill, very tasty. Fresh rosemary, very aromatic. Get rid of the big stems and seeds that you don't need. Bad it's TV because you can't smell this rosemary. It smells very nice. It always reminds me of Christmas trees or evergreens. Then we'll just hit down with some herbs. Elbow. Then we'll hit that with a little stock. Even though it's going to give up its liquid, we still want some kind of juice in there. Right before we roast it. It'll be already like that. Just a little bit of liquid so when you roast it, it doesn't burn up. Voila. And that's the puff pastry and the filling. Voila, just French for there you go. You can't see that. That was a 3-point shot. All right, then we're going to add some tomato, just a little bit, not too much. This is a little pre-made tomato sauce, but I'll also throw fresh crushed tomatoes in there as well sometimes. You don't want it to be just veggies and a tomato sauce. You want to just have a little bit of tomato in there. That's Scooter, he's going for a smoke break. So you'll end up with something that looks like that. Scooter, you're the other guy today.
What did I do now?
He's going on break. They don't mess around at break time. There you go. That's some of the ingredients. That's our finished product. That's our puff pastry. So once the puff pastry is done and puffed, and this is roasted, we'll serve the roasted vegetables right inside the puff pastry. More often than not, we won't use a sauce because there's so much vegetables and juice in there, but every once in a while, if it's a fancy party, we'll put in something like a butter sauce or a cream sauce underneath. That's the taco salad up there for tomorrow lunch. Okay, this dish we got during shutdown while you guys are all having fun at Christmas. We're researching and doing stuff like that, so we kind of wanted to do something that was really nice presentation, but still very easy to make that we can prep ahead of time. So this, through the magic of TV, will be done. This is prepped the day ahead, and then I'll have all of these puff pastries done, and then the veggies I'll roast fresh that day. So that's something that combines a little bit of the ease, but the elegance of the presentation. So the puff pastry, a lot of people think it's not real healthy because it's a lot of butter and stuff like that, but I offset that by using a real healthy filling. I really like to make this dish because it is easy and it is nice, and when I do have 1,000 hungry, voracious vegetarians lined up, I can bust them out like that. And the veggie burger eaters know, man, because I was at my record for veggie burgers yesterday at, I think it was 11 and a half dozen veggie burgers at lunch yesterday, which is 140 something, 138 and a half, something like that. But, and plus you got fresh herbs, you got my spicy spice, everything's good when it's got the spicy spice in there. And I like it. Kids seem to like it, so when they like it, I like it. Part of the challenge of working here is all my big ovens are in the back. So when I'm done with this, I gotta walk it to the back. Let's take a walk. It's another one of my VIP customers. There's my bosses. This is who I got. I harass this guy every day when I'm coming through. That's the baker. Say hi, Matt. Hello, Matt. Man, I feed you a line, you can't even make the joke. Hey.
Camera shot.
Here's our big industrial ovens, convection ovens. Look up here. I'm battling for space. This is my friend Ben. You always see him in International. Say hello, Ben.
Hello.
I'm always battling for space. This is Acorn Squash. They're probably serving that up front. This is my good partner, Rob.
How you doing?
We go to the reggae show.
He got you coming here to film this stuff?
Yeah, man. We're doing puff pastry. There it goes. Through the magic of TV, it'll be done tomorrow and won't even be burned. Puff pastry's been cooking in the oven, 350 degrees with a low fan for about 12, 15 minutes. That's my buddy Stewie. He supplied the props for today. So they'll come out again looking like that. Nice and puffed and hot. So, like I said before, walking back and forth is a lot of my job. That's why I got these fantastic shoes. I got to deal with customers while we're doing this too. It's great, man. This is the puff pastry with roasted vegetables and a red pepper cream sauce. It's delicious. And there go some of my props. So while we're talking, I'm kind of going to skip ahead. Yes, there's a blooper for you guys. Due to New York state law, I should be wearing gloves while I do this. To explain the New York state glove law, it's not just safe food service. Anytime you prepare food that goes straight from my hands to your mouth, I should be wearing gloves. So this is the puff pastry shell. You can get puff pastry, like I said earlier, anywhere in the supermarket. You can use different kind of doughs too for that. Croissant dough sometimes will work with that. I take it, I cut it in, this was one big sheet. You can cut it in any shape you want. I cut it, I score it. When it comes out, sometimes I'll cut it and put different stuff in it. This one, I just smashed it in to make a little vessel. What I'll do with that, the sauce I've prepared ahead with a basic Alfredo sauce, which is like cream, Parmesan cheese, a little bit of white wine, and some veggie stock. I pureed some red peppers. I chopped up some fresh herbs, as you saw earlier. Same herbs I used on the vegetables, I use in the sauce so that I don't have a lot of contrasting flavors. You know, I don't want to put dill and rosemary in the vegetables and then have basil and oregano in the sauce. And then I have so many flavors going on that you really don't taste anything but herbs. So what I'll do is thinly coat the plate. The sauce is a little thin. I wanted it thin because I didn't want a thick, gooey, cheesy sauce. I just wanted something light. So we'll take the shell, which I've already recessed the top into there. Part of the reason I do that too is because this sauce has a little bit of vegetable gravy on it, and that'll keep it from soaking all the way through the bottom. In a minute, come right back. So
So once I've done that, I can take my gloves off because I'm not really gonna handle any more food. And I can show you all my metal. So we got the puff pastry with the top recessed in. I have the vegetables that were stewed in the oven still. I have some ready there. This is what they look like when they come out of the oven, and that is hot. The years of training I got, asbestos fingertips they call them. But I'll take that and I'll pour off some of that liquid that's on the end, and I'll make a gravy out of that. And when the finished product looks like this, so you get a nice soupy look. I'll take that, put it into the puff pastry. This, I have any combinations of vegetables you like, but I take is yellow squash, zucchini, carrots, tomatoes in the sauce. It's really not one of the components. I got some mushrooms in there, parsnips, turnips. Those we threw in since we did the prep. So you really didn't see me prep the parsnips and the turnips. So you got your sauce underneath, you got your puff pastry. Like I said, you can do any kind of shape you want there. His mic is like almost hitting my head. I'm just bugged. Thank you. So we got that on there. You know, like I said before, we always use a garnish. So this one we're doing a balsamic glaze, which is just balsamic vinegar. We cook until it's thick and goopy. You just drizzle that over like that. So that always looks pretty. It looks like Hershey syrup to me, which makes my mouth water because I love Hershey syrup. Then we'll hit it with some chopped scallions. You can use whatever you want. Put on there, make it look nice. All right. Let me garnish these and I'll get my fake customer. Where's my fake customer at? Hey, what's up?
Hi. Should I?
Yeah, take what you want. You know what to do.
Hey.
Now beat it. And that's pretty much how I treat all my customers. I give them a bunch of love, then I give them a bunch of grief. So that way, when I give them grief and I mean it, they really don't notice. So there it is, pretty much as you would do it in your house or in your dorm room. This one looks a little better. So my caffeinated hands are making that plate shake.
Our student workers, I should say, doing the work nobody else wanted to do. Come on, we go through the bake shop the way we came in. It's later now, so all the bakers are gone. I get all the cookies I want this time of day. Some people still working here. My friend George, you may have met him earlier.
That's right, Full Metal Racket.
What time?
USPN 91.1. A lot of you kids don't know this.
He's got enough plugs for my show. That's my buddy Warren. He's my homeboy from Lansingburg. Look at that guy.
You might recognize him too.
Okay, this is my friend Danny. He's one of our student workers here. On our way out, he tried to tell me he's a fan of one of the scariest genres of heavy metal there is, European black metal. Bands like that I used to think of as like Black Diamond, right? Or considered lightweight compared to what these guys are listening to. Name some of the newer black metal.
I'm into a lot of the symphonic Scandinavian stuff, like Old Man's Child.
Old Man's Child?
Yeah. Winter Sun, stuff like that.
When do they play around here? Do you ever get to see them live?
When I go home, they come to my house.
Where are you from?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like Norway or something.
I wish.
All right, Dana, thanks a lot, bro.
Thank you.
So we'll put this back into the warming oven. We'll pull it out when we need it. And we still got people. We're still cleaning up.
It's possible.
This is my buddy Mike. When's your show on WSPN?
Tonight, Tuesday, today?
Thursday.
Yeah, you know what I meant. Thursday at midnight, / Friday morning, / whatever.
Yeah, that's Friday morning. What are you playing, man?
We're going to play on. I don't even know.
Everything.
I think we're
hip
gonna
hop,
have
R&B,
We're
jazz.
gonna have a little freestyle session tonight.
Oh, nice.
My boy Rob More Money's coming through.
Nice. So you got live hip hop tonight?
Yeah.
All right.
Tune in. Most importantly, watch this man's show. Get the camera on you. Watch his show. Don't worry about me. Hey.
All right, we're gonna get the horns. All right, so we're gonna say goodbye again from our rock episode of Emily's Garden. My buddy Pete.
I got it.
She's been practicing.
See, I did practice. Oh, the thumb too?
You know, if you got to teach them, they ain't metal.
There you go.
Adios,
There you go.
everybody.
Dad, make me a sandwich.